Hello everyone, just Gordon here and welcome back to another Planet Zoo real life inspiration video. And about 2 years ago, I found out that there's only 2 places in the Netherlands that have Fennec Fox, and ever since I've really been wanting to go to both of them. I'd visited one, I made a video about it, it was Avonturia de Vogelkelder or Mappa Mundia, and I did not see the Fennec Fox there. And when I went back there a second time, I did not see the Fennec Fox there. But today, I finally went to Daalhoeve farm, and I saw the Fennec Fox there, which you can see over here. Now I had seen Fennec Fox before in other zoos that we'll see in this video, but man, I just wanted to see some Dutch ones, okay? So I dragged Eben over here several times. This is the third time I'm dragging Eben over here. Yeah, no regrets there. So let's actually start with Daalhoeve. So over here we are entering Daalhoeve farm. It's a small farm, it's a free zoo with a couple of really cool animals there. If you're ever in the area, if you're near Maastricht, definitely go there. It's just a very short trip and yeah, it's free, it's fun, and you can see Fennec Fox there. So over here, as you enter the zoo, one of the first habitats you see actually is this little backstage building of the Fennec Fox. You can see in there they've got a little log, they've got what looks like a litter box, I think, and we saw a little sleeping Fennec Fox there. And then as we pan around, there is this hedge, and inside the hedge is some viewing areas into this enclosure. And I think it's a really cute little enclosure over here. They've put really some effort into the planting and stuff. There's not a lot of landscaping going on. There's some nice rocks and stuff like that, but overall it's mainly just a little flat thing. But hey, it's a nice little flat desert with some deserty plants in there. I'd say that pretty much suffices for Fennec Fox. There's also a little bit of theming we could see as we'll pan around over here, go around the corner, we'll see it a little bit better because there is some more windows over here in this kind of mud wall type thing. Yeah, we can see a little Fennec Fox statue over there with 2 Fennec Foxes, and there was also a bit of a shelter box. There's actually multiple throughout the enclosure. And yeah, I think of all the enclosures we're going to see today, this was actually one of the better ones. It's a bit on the small side, but I mean, Fennec Foxes are really tiny, so I think it's probably fine. I'm definitely not an expert in that matter, but yeah, I really like this one. There's not much else to say about it. We can look through as many of these windows as we want, but they all kind of show the same enclosure. So I'd say we move on to the next zoo, which is probably the most special one in the video. We are at the Zoo of Berlin, and we are entering Tiere der Nacht, the creatures of the night, which is the night house of the zoo. So we're going to move over to phone footage because my GoPro sucks at filming in the dark, so my phone is a lot better at that, but yeah, the field of view is a little bit worse, but at least we'll be able to see something because with the GoPro this is just darkness. So we're entering the darkness of the night. There's tons of enclosure over here, so many cool animals, but we are skipping right ahead to the Fennec Fox enclosure over here, and you can see some nice rock work. We can also see someone with a flashlight on. Let me just use my German power to stop them. Zijn nachthuis. Zijn nachthuis, kan je dit? I'm pretty sure they made some remark at me afterwards, but jokes on them, I don't speak German that well. So let's just enjoy the nice enclosure over here. As you can see, it's not super big either, and the night house did not do much for the Fennecs being active or not, so that was interesting. And there was also this little side cave over here. Not sure if that's part of the Fennec Fox enclosure or if it was its own thing. It's way too dark to tell. So let's get out of the darkness and go to the next zoo. This is the Zoo of Dortmund, and we are entering this building over here, walking between some enclosure that we'll look at in the far future. As we enter this building, we have an enclosure right over here, a nice door with some stickers on it. This is the Fennec Fox enclosure. As you can see, it has a little separating wall over there in the middle, which can be used to separate the 2 sides of the enclosure. This is the only zoo that I've seen do this, so I wonder what made them decide to want this and other zoos not, but yeah, it's a thing here. We can see a couple of nice shelters, pretty nicely detailed with the kind of, yeah, making it look all rocky and stuff. I also really do like this wall over here that the enclosure is built out of. And then there's this, what I think looks like a termite mound of some sort, which Fennec Foxes do eat insects, so that could be a little bit of theming there. And yeah, if you're wondering what building are we actually inside of, well, it is the giraffe stall. So right across the indoor area of the giraffes is that little Fennec Fox enclosure. And it also actually has an outdoor part over here. You can see a small netted over section. It's very tiny, nothing really to write home about, but they do have an outside area, which is appreciated, I suppose. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Zoo of Dortmund. Let's move on to the next zoo, which is going to be Harry Malter. And yeah, there was not a lot to say about this enclosure either. It's a big rectangle, not entirely a rectangle. It's got a little bit of a wavy back wall over there. Got some small mounds with some tunnels in there for them to hide in and go through, which is pretty fun. There's a Ferris wheel in the background for reasons, and yeah, you can, what's interesting I thought was there is some like dog chewing toys strewn about. I thought that was quite interesting. And then we've got the backstage over here, also very simple backstage building, very reflective window, so it was really hard to see inside, but yeah, you can see on the inside they've got some sand and stuff. And there was a Fennec Fox sleeping in the corner, in case you didn't see it. It's sleeping on top of like a flower pot or a bucket of some sort. Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, that was Harry Malter. Next up is Zoo de Lille. The zoo starts off with this kind of avenue of all sorts of enclosures left and right, and one of them is this enclosure over here, also netted over. This is the Fennec Fox enclosure, but it's actually not only for the Fennec Fox. This is a mixed enclosure with the Fennec Fox and the dwarf mongoose that we can see over here. I thought that was quite interesting. I know Fennec Fox mostly eat insects. I do think they also eat smaller mammals, but I guess a dwarf mongoose is not quite small enough to be prey for them. If you're wondering where the Fennec Fox is, divert your eyes to the little shelter in the background. There is a window in there through which you can see the Fennec Fox almost. If it weren't moving, you wouldn't be able to tell, but it is there. Yeah, definitely not the best viewing experience here, but that's Lille. So let's move on to the next zoo, which is the other zoo of the Netherlands that have the Fennec Fox. We are in Mappa Mundia, also known as Avonturia de Vogelkelder. And this is the dwarf mongoose enclosure, which I think is pretty interesting. Before we had a mixed enclosure with the dwarf mongoose and the Fennec. And now we have not a mixed enclosure, but you can see the Fennec Fox enclosure from the dwarf mongoose enclosure. It has that window in the back through which you can see the Fennec Fox enclosure, and here you can kind of see both of the enclosures at the same time. But yeah, really cool theming over here in the enclosure. The enclosure is not very big, however. Again, I've been here twice. I've never seen the Fennec Foxes, which somewhat surprised me. It's such a small enclosure, right? You'd think if they were to move around even a little, you would see them. But I guess the size here is not very enriching to them, and they're most likely just sleeping somewhere in a corner all the time. That would be my guess. I don't know. But yeah, that was Mappa Mundia. Let's go to Zoo de Maubeuge. This was actually the first zoo that I saw the Fennec Fox at. I'm a little distracted over there by the gibbon enclosure structure. But yeah, this is the Fennec Fox enclosure. Again, it's completely meshed over. And just like in Zoo de Lille, we've got this weird situation where there is an indoor enclosure kind of in the back of the enclosure for which you have to look through this glass, which is very reflective and it's really hard to tell. There was a zookeeper in there, which kind of startled the Fennec Fox a little bit, and it came outside, allowing me to see them really well, being all active over here before they hid away in their little tunnel over there. But it does showcase nicely that they have this tunnel system under the enclosure, which is really cool. But yeah, the viewing of this enclosure, I think, is probably even worse than in Lille, because not only do we have the reflective backstage in the back through which we probably have to see the Fennec Fox, we also have mesh in the front, which makes it even more annoying. But yeah, over there you can see the door into the backstage, and yeah, here you can see inside there they do have a little heat lamp, keeping them nice and warm at desert temperatures, I suppose. But they're just sleeping over there. I actually did manage to get a pretty decent shot of them through the mesh and through the glass. But yeah, not my favorite in terms of viewing because of all of that. Anyway, let's move on to the final enclosure of the video. This is Animal Sanctuary de Zonnegloed, and this is probably my favorite enclosure in the video. We've got an indoor area first of all, and they've got all these little baskets that the Fennec Fox are all sleeping in. They are so tiny that they fit in the little basket. Oh my god, I just want to pick up the basket and take them home with me, but that's probably a very bad idea. Yeah, just a very simple indoor area over here, just, you know, very practical, just getting the job done. Look, we have tons of Fennec Fox over here. We can see another 4. There was the other one in the corner. I'm pretty sure there was a 6th one as well. So many. I mean, it is an animal sanctuary. There's a rescue, so they're probably taking a lot of these. I'm guessing they might have been you know, sold as pets quite a lot. I don't remember what was on the signs for all of these. But yeah, here on the outside, you have the outdoor enclosure. It's actually kind of similar to the one we saw at Daalhoeve, right? We've got very similar planting with all the palms. It's just a lot more lush. Not only is there a lot of grass all around, but also just a lot more plants in general, which I definitely don't think is a bad thing. It's a very good looking enclosure. I really do like it. We also have a little elevated view over here, giving us a nice overview of the whole thing. And there is some pots and things and baskets around that they can hide in. Lots of plants. Yeah. Really, really nice. Really like it. But anyway, that's it. Those are all the Fennec Fox enclosures that I've seen. Hope you enjoyed and got some Fennec Fox inspiration. And I'll see you in the next Real Life Inspiration video. Bye-bye!